Hello and welcome to episode 20 of the Alternative Car Show. As you can see, I'm not on camera. My MS has got worse, as I'd said in after I'd had the diagnosis, and basically it is harder for me, so I don't look particularly good at the moment. So this is a voiceover start as I clean the Quantum. The aim is to get the Quantum back on the road, partly to give me some sort of mobility. So I'm pretty much housebound until it's fixed, unless I use Dad's Volvo. Anyhow, the Quantum is actually undergoing a bit of work, and I thought, best to clean it because it really needs it, and it took me several attempts and several breaks because just doing this job knackered me out for a whole day. Anyhow, please, if you like our videos, please click on the like, the thumbs up, and please subscribe, because every subscription really counts. I don't earn anything from the videos we make on my channels, and until we hit the magic 1,000, and even then I won't earn much, and I had to give up my day job. So this really is it. If you like our videos, please support us. We've put extra videos out there for Patreon supporters as well. So if you do subscribe to the Patreon, and the address is at the back of the video, there are extra videos as a thank you for supporting us, because every single Patreon supporter helps me to get this car on the road, and at the moment I am working on zero income. Anyhow, let's get on with the videos. And the Quantum, of course, is probably the pinnacle of the kit car saloons in terms of build quality and ease of build and the quality of the finished car. But a lot of people don't realise that the kit car industry was actually blessed with quite a rich history in terms of practical cars, and moreover there's been several saloons. And the decade before our Quantum, there was another very fine saloon car made by a marque very well known, Ginetta. And this next video is an owner who built his Ginetta G26 from new and has lived with it ever since. So that is a pure kit car owner if ever I heard one. Anyway, without further ado, enjoy the video.
My name's Les Mitchell. The car is a Ginetta G26.
Now, this is being filmed in 2023, and you built the car from new, didn't you? So
I did. Back in 1986, I ordered it from Ginetta around about July. They delivered it around about November, December time. It came as a super kit, and I added the Cortina parts. It's based on a Mark III Cortina. Put it on the road, got it MOT'd in February 1987.
So a nice straightforward build, and with the super kit it came painted, and with the chassis and the doors hung.
Yeah, the body was fastened to the chassis. The body was painted, the doors were fitted, the headlamps were fitted, the pop-up headlamps. That was by a wire. You pulled a wire to make them come up. That's now been changed to electric. But yeah, it was really just putting the mechanics into it.
And the chassis was galvanised, being a super kit as well.
Yeah, well, it was an option, but I'd from a previous car I knew that I really wanted the galvanised chassis, because since 1987 I've not done anything at all to the chassis, and it looks as good now as it did the day I got it.
Well, the previous experience you're talking about was another Ginetta GRS Tourer, wasn't it?
Yeah, I built a GRS Tourer in 1984, well 83, 84, or was it 84, 85? I thought it was 83, 84, and money being a bit tighter in those days, I decided not to have it galvanised, which is probably the wrong idea, because I spent more time trying to paint the chassis and it didn't really work.
Engine choice, was it a 1.6 or a 2 litre?
It was a 1.6. As I say, the cost of insurance on the 2 litre would have been astronomical in those days in a kit car, so I went for the 1.6. And it's the same engine. It has been worked on a few times by various people, but it's the same engine that I got out of the Cortina, which was a 1976 Cortina.
And you had the Mark III donor stripped down before the kit arrived, so you said that made it relatively straightforward.
Yeah, because I'd done the Tourer first, and with that I was transferring from the Hillman Hunter straight to the Tourer, because I had no real expertise on the mechanical side. This time I felt more confident, so I stripped down the Cortina, took out all the parts I wanted and got rid of the body shell before the Ginetta arrived. gave me a bit more room in the garage.
Now, memories of the build, was it an enjoyable experience or?
Yeah, it was a fairly quick one. As I say, I got it end of November, beginning of December. I didn't do a great deal over the Christmas period, but I got it on the road, MOT'd on the 14th of February, 87. So it was, from what I can remember, bearing in mind we're going back 30 odd years, yeah, it was fairly straightforward.
And you told me it was originally silver.
Yeah, it was Ford Strata Silver originally.
I think Ginetta had a job lot of that, didn't they?
Possibly. I know that their main car exhibitor was the same colour. That's what made me go for it. Yeah.
And but there was an accident that led to the change.
Yeah. What I found was that the lacquer was lifting and leaving it it was looking very cloudy in places, and then unfortunately I had an accident which the insurance company offered me a half respray, which didn't really seem very good, and I talked to my garage and we decided for a little bit extra they would respray it as a base colour, and I just searched round and round till I found a Mercedes that looked very nice in yellow. But then thinking of the price of Mercedes paint, being very careful in those days, I then found that Fiat did a broom yellow, which was the same colour. So this is now Fiat broom yellow.
And moving to the interior, from my perspective, I think it looks absolutely pristine. It's as beautiful as it looks factory fresh. Was that something that came factory fitted, or was that something you fitted yourself?
We had to provide the rear seat from the Cortina, which we then had to send off to Richfield, who covered the seat for us. We bought 2 new seats for the front, Unfortunately, there was a bit of a hiccup. They didn't make them strong enough, so those were actually the Richfield seats the same, but they were replaced a few years later. But that's it. I mean, they've been on the car for the best part of 30 years.
And it was for a while your daily driver?
Yep. When I built it in 1987, that was the only car we had. From 1987 to 1995, it was the only car I had. We towed a caravan with it. We took myself, my wife, my 2 sons, the dog, and the mother-in-law on holiday. We did 95,000 miles in it. And then one day we were coming back from Wales round St Asaph, and anybody who knows it's a very steep hill, and the car really struggled to get up it. In fact, I stopped at the top, and I just stopped at the top to open the bonnet because the engine cut out, and there was a policeman right by me saying, "You can't park here." But I had no option. I'd stopped. We then cooled it down in Glossop for the run over the Snake. We got home all right, but my wife said she wanted a proper car, so it was then pensioned off. I used it to go to work and things, but we bought another car.
And I don't need to ask, I mean, in terms of value for money, this car's paid for itself 100 times over probably, hasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, the super kit cost about £4,000, and then I probably paid another £1,500 to all the bits and pieces. So putting it on the road, we was on the road for under 6,000, and not really done much else to it since then.
And how many miles have you done in the car now?
It's done 130,000.
So it's done everything you could possibly want for a family car.
Yep, everything it's all. Yeah, I mean, it still could be a family car. You can still. I've taken my granddaughters out for a ride in it. They call it the banana car.
Do they think it's cool?
Probably. Well, one of them's now 18, so perhaps she's not thinking it's quite as cool as it. But they have enjoyed going out in it. We've never gone far in it because, as I say, it's now more or less pensioned off on limited mileage, so I don't do a great deal of mileage in it. But it's always MOT'd and ready to go. And
I usually ask what the future plans for people with the car, but with this, I would imagine that you don't need to do anything at this stage. There's nothing,
Well, no, you hear about everybody saying they've got to do a rebuild and this, that, and the other, but at the moment it's running smoothly. I've not really done a great deal to it over the last 30 odd years, and my plans are just basically to keep it just as a I don't know, forever, until I get to the point where I can't drive anymore, which obviously will come at some stage as I'm getting on in years now.
Well, thank you ever so much for letting us look at the car. I mean, it's lovely, and the standard is brilliant in it, so thank you very much for letting us look.
Thank you, Neil.
What a lovely car Les Mitchell built, and it's glorious to see a car that's stayed with its owner for so many years. Now, as you can see, we're progressing with the Quantum and approaching the rear 3/4 lights, and you will see that there is some tape that has been on the car, and this is because I was always nervous washing around these because I suspected that they needed rebonding. They definitely did, because a friend was with me, and Mick Strafford, actually, if you remember his video on the V8 Forenza. Anyhow, he was with me, and I closed the driver's door and this window popped out. So I found a local windscreen guy, a really nice chap, and he came along and bonded the screen, the rear screen in, and we thought, well, we better get the other one done at the same time. So here's the video of that, just to prove that there really is work ongoing on the Quantum. Is that stuff going to stick?
The primer?
Yeah.
Well, we could put this on fresh bodywork. And it takes to it.
How long would you say before it's set?
Half an hour.
Half an hour?
That glue sets it. You can drive that car. There's a windscreen, I put the windscreen in 30 minutes. And as soon as the glue goes on the glass, you could drive the car. So by the time you finish building it up, cleaning it, you're pretty much on the road. Going nowhere, but
oh yeah,
just in case.
Many thanks to Screen Tech for helping us out with those windows. I'm sure you agree that is a huge help and best done by the professionals, certainly with someone like me around. Anyway, I've now turned to cleaning out under the bonnet, and there's been a bit of drama under here. We had a problem with the car refusing to start after several years stood up, and after checking out various things, replacing the mechanical fuel pump, replacing it with another mechanical fuel pump, deciding that that was the wrong mechanical fuel pump, another mechanical fuel pump that didn't work, so then I fitted an electronic fuel pump, only to find out that that wasn't the real problem. But anyway, The mechanical fuel pump did have one major flaw, in that if the car had been running and it stopped for a while and you tried to start it again, quite often it would flood. And by the way, the battery here is disconnected, and therefore I'm not causing any problems. I really did need to clean out inside the bonnet, and it will all be let to dry out before I try to start the car up, before anyone says anything. But anyway, yes, so the next little segment explains the final solution to the car starting problem, and it was so simple. Mick Strafford was the one that found it, and on the day that the screen popped out. So without further ado, here is the saga of the fuel pump finally solved. Another job that I've tackled on the Quantum is the fuel line. As you can see, the original rubber short fuel line to the filter was perished, and this caused an air hole. The air hole stopped the fuel sucking through, etc, etc. In finding this out, I did actually fit a brand new fuel pump. So I've now replaced the bit of a fending pipe with some braided hose, and use braided hoses for the entire installation, as you can see. And here it is all finished. So you've got the fuel coming into the fuel filter, then feeding into the brand new electric fuel pump, which is all wired in, and with a new button for me to press to start the car. It then goes up from the fuel pump directly into the carburetor. Problem solved, all fixed, car works beautifully. Well, that brings us to the end of this episode, and definitely concludes the current update on the Quantum, although there are jobs still out ongoing, and I will bring updates, so please click on the thumbs up. That really helps us, and also click on subscribe, and whilst you're at it, ask for all, because then you'll be notified when there's a new video. If you want to help us, at the end of the video there is the buy me a coffee link. Again, anything that anyone gives us really does help. I'm desperate to get this car back on the road. I will do videos on the car when it's back on the road, so anything that comes in from this channel, from Patreon, from buy me a coffee, will go towards this and the Scimitar, which is another car that we're trying to get on the road. We really need your help, so your generosity is forever thanked. And for watching, I cannot thank you enough. Please share this video with friends, tell everyone we exist, and we will carry on making content for you as long as my body holds up. Many thanks. See you next time.